This short audiobook draws from Adulting for Health, Wealth, and Aging, available on Amazon. Samin Atik is the original author of several books on promoting healthy aging. Samin completed 2 degrees in health sciences and worked in health-related positions, like contact centers for investigating infectious symptoms and dental insurance claims coverage. Samin continues to preach health. Her 20s were amazing and challenging, so now she's ready to help others adult and age better. One of her other titles is Nourish and Flourish, which is all about eating healthy and cultivating healthy ecosystems for food production. You'll also find Blank Space on Amazon, a guided scrapbook filled with journaling prompts designed to help build healthier habits one small step at a time.
Emotional intelligence sits at the heart of behavioral finance, healthy relationships, and long-term well-being. It's not just about avoiding illness, it's about cultivating mental health as a daily practice. When we take care of ourselves and the people who matter to us, life feels less chaotic and more intentional. Health isn't something we chase, it's something we already possess as a resource. When we nurture it, we build health capital, the living potential that grows through supportive relationships, steady habits, and the ability to manage emotions with clarity. Emotional intelligence is simply the skill of navigating relationships, family, colleagues, customers, in ways that reduce friction rather than amplify it. A positive frame helps us move toward solutions instead of getting stuck in negativity. It allows us to identify and release the blocks that stunt growth, and to lean into relationships that are trustworthy, motivating, and aligned with better outcomes. Emotional health is inseparable from overall health. Mental health is part of medicine, part of public health, and part of how we communicate with one another. Even in something as practical as handling an angry customer, emotional intelligence matters. Listening fully, validating their experience, and applying your expertise can transform frustration into resolution. That extra bit of care often makes all the difference. When I was in university studying how to translate health sciences into real-world practice, I was introduced to the idea of business intelligence. At first, it sounded like some complex, high-level science. But in reality, it was simply the practice of using basic tools, sometimes as simple as a computer and clear logic, to make better decisions. What surprised me most was how straightforward it was. Applying organizational psychology at work isn't about mastering complicated theories. In practice, it often looks like following enough instructions to complete one task well, and then building on that success step by step. The process becomes iterative, and over time, it compounds. For the professional, it adds credibility and their unique brand value. Meanwhile, the customer gets a frustration resolved that they wouldn't be able to all alone. So responding with technique where the other is emotionally stuck can help more than one person. For others, this can look effortless because they're benefiting from systems someone else has already built. Business intelligence is always a blend of human intelligence and practical tools, calculators, technology, presence of mind, and the logic you apply for yourself. As a professional, just learning how business tools that already exist can solve the customer's problems can improve solutions and outcomes. It's not about sophistication, it's about clarity, consistency, and doing the next right thing, one piece at a time.
Life, longevity, laughter, love are interconnected dynamics. Lifestyle changes can meaningfully improve health and, in some cases, even reverse disease. When we make small, consistent shifts, we begin to navigate our routines with more intention and healthier choices. These micro-adjustments can delay the onset of illness and expand our everyday vitality. They show up in simple, human moments, being able to walk and laugh with neighbors instead of grunting through pain or withdrawing into isolation. Breathing freely because we've shaped our environments to nourish us rather than expose us to toxins. Choosing peace over conflict, fairness over greed. A social contract that protects individual rights and ensures equitable access to natural resources helps us understand why some people thrive while others struggle. When we promote understanding, we strengthen our ability to make clear, grounded arguments and challenge the unfair enforcement of hegemonic policies. Emotional intelligence becomes part of this ecosystem too. It allows us to recognize when reactionary anger can be softened with a moment of humor, a shared laugh, or a gentle pause, opening the door to a more reasonable, human conversation. ADHWA is an Arabic word meaning light. ADHWA acronymizes Adulting for Health, Wealth, and Aging. There is so much science to emphasize life, well-being, and boost scores to aim for a long life. The chapters signify the deeper branches of how scientific publishers have tried to query and quantify the works to augment health capital in society. Income is one of the strongest predictors of health and longevity. People who earn more typically have more stability, more options, and more disposable income. But higher income doesn't automatically translate into long-term wealth. Sustainable wealth comes from acquiring property and assets, saving consistently, and allowing money to compound over time. Often, the real value lies in the money not spent, money that is saved, invested, and allowed to grow. Governments can print money, but individuals build wealth through legitimate income streams, productive work, and intentional financial habits. These are signs of capability, discipline, and long-term thinking. Artificial intelligence can feel intimidating, especially for people struggling to find work. But when we look closely, AI is simply a set of tools designed to perform tasks that require reasoning, pattern recognition, or learning. Britannica describes artificial intelligence as the ability of a computer or robot to perform tasks associated with intelligent beings, including reasoning, discovering meaning, and learning from experience. It's true that many people feel earning money is harder than ever. That concern is valid. But AI is more nuanced than the fear surrounding it. It doesn't replace human value, especially not emotional intelligence, soft skills, or the human ability to build trust. In fact, these qualities stand out even more in a world filled with automation. AI is also part of a broader system of classification and record keeping. If someone needs a job, relying on AI alone won't be enough. Speaking with a career specialist, understanding your strengths, and matching your skills to real opportunities is still essential. Human guidance matters. Income fuels the economy. Banks use income as one variable to direct funds toward investments, which helps grow financial resources across society. Banking isn't inherently good or bad, it's simply a structured way to record and manage money. Historically, cash could be lost or stolen. Now, digital wallets and secure passwords allow people to make payments safely without carrying physical money. Similarly, AI and digital record keeping are tools for managing information, not replacements for human judgment. Banks also support financial planning by offering accounts, contribution limits, and products designed for specific goals. Interest rates can work for you or against you. Your mindset and financial habits shape the outcome. Anyone who earns income benefits, even in small ways, when they save and invest rather than fall into unproductive debt. And even when loans are necessary, maintaining a good credit score and demonstrating reliability helps sustain both personal stability and the broader economy. Income is also closely linked with education. Higher education often provides people with the knowledge, technology skills, and confidence needed to perform well and earn a living. In that sense, income, intelligence, and opportunity are interconnected parts of the same system. As we grow older, the characteristics that make each of us unique become more visible. Biologically, the simplest explanation is that from infancy through adolescence, our growth is expressed mainly in height. Childhood is marked by rapid growth because growth hormone levels are at their peak. Adulthood looks different. We continue to learn, mature, and adapt, even as our physical speed slows. Instead of growing upward, we grow inward and outward, like an onion. We absorb nutrients at the core, and we absorb subtle cues from our environment. Our bodies may add weight horizontally once vertical growth is complete, but our minds and identities continue to deepen. Aging well requires conscious training of both the muscles and the brain. Cognitive science consistently shows that the brain remains plastic. Neuroplasticity allows us to adapt, innovate, and find solutions when challenges arise. Memory does not suddenly disappear. Instead, lifestyle choices, nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, and social connection act as epigenetic influences that shape how gracefully we age. Staying close to loved ones becomes increasingly important. Familiar faces, shared history, and emotional support provide grounding as biological age advances. With time, we may rely more on others for physical tasks, just as younger people rely on elders for wisdom. Maturity tends to accumulate with age, while impulsivity is more common in youth. Aging socially means learning to interact respectfully across generations and understanding that growth is not only rapid expansion but also thoughtful transformation. Short-term memory is the working memory that allows us to remember only what we need to. Long-term memory develops over longer periods of time, and sleep helps us clear out the unwanted memories we do not need and reorganize information without conscious input. Short-term changes are what we do consciously, but long-term is what happens naturally regardless of conscious input. Think of a garden. Grass, flowers, shrubs, and trees all grow to different heights, yet each contributes to the ecosystem in its own way. Biological growth is not just about defying gravity, it is about maturing, adapting, and finding one's place in the landscape of life.
Epigenetics is the science of how your daily environment and lifestyle influence the way your genes behave. While your DNA stays the same, factors like nutrition, movement, sunlight, stress levels, and social support can shift how your genes are expressed over time. These influences shape energy, mood, aging, and long-term disease risk, which is why understanding your own health needs, preferences, and medical history helps you make informed decisions. Lifestyle is one of the strongest epigenetic tools you can control. Nourishing foods, regular physical activity, healthy sleep rhythms, and supportive routines all strengthen well-being. Even in adulthood, the brain remains neuroplastic, meaning growth and habit building continue throughout life. Social support also plays a powerful role. Asking for help during illness or stress can speed recovery and reduce the emotional load. After any ailment, the body needs rest and nutrient-dense foods, including antioxidants found in fruits, herbal teas, and dark chocolate. If you enjoy sweets, it's helpful to protect dental health and stay mindful of long-term metabolic effects. Avoiding toxic substances, like alcohol, drugs, smoke can help improve biological age. That's because these substances are carcinogenic, but they tend to be additives in regular consumption. especially for those who are addicted or not able to afford organic living. It is important to include health as a community and natural value in business and marketing because unless we are reminded, we might falter just to cope.
Dark psychology helps us understand the kinds of difficult thoughts we don't usually say aloud, the shadow material that everyone carries but rarely discusses. Exploring these deeper layers isn't about becoming negative, it's about rising to the challenge of self-honesty. When we understand our darker impulses, we grow, we mature, and we become more capable of accepting truth. It's easy to imagine that we're living in a post-truth era shaped by AI, automated systems, and institutions that feel robotic or out of our control. But the reality is far more human. Soft skills, emotional intelligence, and relationship building remain lifelong tasks. They're essential for working, living, and connecting with others. Technology may evolve, but the need for trust, communication, and empathy never disappears.
Hygiene is a foundational turning point across all professions. Any field that delivers therapeutic or human-centered services relies on physical contact, shared environments, and trust, none of which function without sanitation. The principles of hygiene and the epidemiological triad have shaped our ability to treat infectious and acute illnesses, laying the groundwork for modern medicine, food safety, and public health. Hygiene standards also make communal life possible. They allow workplaces to host gatherings, enable properties to be used for networking events, and support the safe operation of schools, clinics, and public venues. Behind the scenes, janitorial staff and municipal waste workers play an essential, often invisible, role in maintaining these systems. Their work ensures that waste is safely managed, environments remain sanitary, and communities can function without interruption. On a personal level, maintaining a clean and neat appearance strengthens social connection and helps people feel confident in shared spaces. Hygiene products and sanitation infrastructure also support mobility, making it easier for people to travel for work or leisure while staying healthy and comfortable.
Take a moment to jot down what adulting is all about. Pause the video and come back. Do you think adulting is about taking on responsibilities like working, supporting family, taking care of aging parents? You wouldn't be wrong if you said yes. To me, adulting is about accepting the genetic and epigenetic reality as well as understanding the positive and negative side of nature. Biological aging is a term used in functional medicine to highlight that we can grow and move about doing what is useful for society and human development and functioning. Meanwhile, clearly understanding limitations in physics can lay out the fact that people can get injured or perish when risks come about. Excessive exposure to sunlight, inadequate protections, chemical and physical hazards exist. To devise protective measures and gear is important and necessary to remain alive. Developing life skills in young age can pay dividends later. That's the basic of being useful in society and having a career. Family planning is important to preserve human genetics and develop or pass on life skills from parents to children. People with secure family have a considerably better understanding of livelihood and ways of living. Familiarity also promotes mental health, trust, and emotional attachment. By being with people who sustain us, we can maximize personal well-being.
Diet. A mindful, adequate diet is key for sustaining basal metabolic rate. Energy out needs to be balanced with energy in. The feedback system is intrapersonal and cyclical. In some ways, only you can coordinate your metabolic rate and nutritional needs. Calories are found in plenty in whole foods, fruits, nuts, meats, eggs, seeds, legumes, beans, lentils, whole grains, oats, barley, rice. Micronutrients are plenty in coconut water, juicy pulp, and vegetables. Binging or not eating adequately is risky. Dwindling energy, low energy, or insufficient nutrition can impose nutritional deficiencies, which in turn can reduce physiological functioning. Safe preparation of food is important to prevent food poisoning. Eat well and then do what you do.
Physical activity is simply the practice of moving your body in ways that support healthy, ergonomic work and daily function. While early humans naturally stayed active through hunting, gathering, and manual labor, modern technologies, cars, trucks, machinery, have reduced the physical effort required for survival and productivity. But convenience doesn't eliminate the need for movement. Sitting still for long periods increases the risk of poor circulation, mental fog, and even premature mortality. Strength training helps maintain muscle mass and bone density across the lifespan. Yoga supports lymphatic drainage and complements immune function. Good posture protects the body from injury, which is why mindful warm-ups and proper technique matter before any physical task. Cardiovascular health improves when we elevate our heart rate through cycling, running, brisk walking, or any activity that deepens the breath. Early mornings can be an ideal time to enjoy nature walks, and staying hydrated, nourished, and stretching afterward helps the body recover. If you become confident on a bicycle, commuting by bike can be both energizing and environmentally friendly. Even simple habits, like walking with colleagues during a midday break, can add sunlight, movement, and clarity to the day. Physics underlies all human movement. Gravity, force, and momentum shape how we lift, push, pull, and balance. Even sound vibrations, used in practices like music therapy, can influence psychological and emotional states. Sometimes a shift in light, sound, or sensory input helps us reconnect with our values and reset our focus. After activity, replenishing fluids and electrolytes supports muscle repair and overall recovery. Movement is not just exercise, it's a conscious way of caring for the body's mechanics, energy, and long-term resilience.
Everybody does not believe in the same theism. This is most obvious with the degree and discipline affiliated with professional work. Several sectors of industry and diverse banking demonstrate that all income sources are not equal, neither is the standardized work practice to do one job. Faith trumps a lot of business-oriented rationale, and instead offers the individualistic, spiritually oriented views that guide the individual in connection to the omnipotent creator of the universe. Some laws of nature impose hazards, while others are derived for food and healing. Enjoining in faith can benefit health status by boosting morale and togetherness. The trail and philosophical teachings of eminent figures affiliated with religion displays character, the value in storytelling, and rituals that are superior as a life force. Of course, work also presents with challenges, inequity, poor resource distribution, seeing technology above human values, political control, environmental pollution, and perhaps more. Upholding personal values and acting with integrity means we must learn and use faith productively to channel energy for the future. Discovering the science behind technology might be impossible without the perseverance of acting synergistically as a group and upholding societal interests and values. Teamwork is group work, and no one person knows exactly the science and commerce of every itemized product, good, or service on the market. We execute based on our estimations, beliefs, and biases. Faith guides us towards the future. In many cultures, religion isn't just about belief, it's about practice, repetition, and continuity. People repeat certain actions, rituals, or values because doing so sustains meaning, identity, and community across time.
Understanding your circadian rhythm is simple. Your body follows internal cues. Sunlight naturally boosts alertness, while nighttime signals the body to slow down, unwind, and sleep. Some people are natural night owls, so a daytime schedule isn't a universal rule. Business hours vary because our internal clocks vary. The key is learning your own rhythm. Writing about your situations, challenges, and blessings increases self-awareness. Journaling helps you process emotions, unlock mental blocks, and strengthen your relationships. Tracking metrics like sleep and physical activity can reveal long-term patterns that shape your health. Good health advice doesn't demand a stress-free life or ask you to sit still and avoid all discomfort. It's not a divine commandment to do nothing. Instead, it encourages growth, improving yourself without harming others, without acting from fear, and without sacrificing your integrity. Small, intentional steps compound over time, and that's where real transformation begins. Writing or reflecting with intention helps us tune into our internal cues, especially when lifestyle stress and epigenetic pressures strain our time and energy. People who practice self-care and regularly check in with themselves are often more resilient during hardship than those who push endlessly without rest or reflection. Reflecting is a way to self-improve and study, rather than impulsively and intuitively enact. Sleep is essential. It's the one time your body steps in, stands guard, and allows you to recover. Rest is not a luxury, it's a biological requirement that protects your mind, your mood, and your long-term health.